share a bit about my journey to this work because it took me a minute to back solve and figure out that the ease I found in my first company was actually due to my bestie, Uncle Goog. So back in 2014, I launched Higher Scores Test Prep. It was an ACT and SAT prep company that delivered asynchronous courses to help kids get ready for the ACT and SAT. And this company I worked really, really hard on for about 2 years. I was a solopreneur, so I was doing it all. I developed curriculum, I was taking sales calls, I was podcasting, producing, recording, editing, the whole 9 yards. The only help I had was that my dad did my accounts and my mom did shipping. That was it. Everything else was on my shoulders. And so I was very lucky that early on, a few gentle nudges pointed me towards SEO as something I should pay attention to. And it was information like embedded deep in podcasts. It was information that I would like stumble across at a conference, but it was never something that I really studied. I just kind of did a little bit. And what ended up happening was that it went a long way. So for 2 years, I sweated it out, creating these courses, understanding every aspect of online marketing and executing it myself. And then I went on a 2-week vacation to Europe with my husband. And it was a grand test. I said, I'm only gonna check my email occasionally, like 3 or 4 times to make sure that the lights are still on. But other than that, I'm walking away. This is gonna be the first time that I have spent more than a day away from this business in 2 whole years. In 2 weeks of vacation, I made my mortgage. And that had never happened before, but it happened with me stepping away. And the reason that that was possible was because Uncle Google had my back. I had prospects who wanted to find me, who needed the information that I had, coming through my digital doors because they would ask a question and Google would serve up one of my pages. And before you say, well, I could never do that, my space is really crowded, I was in the online test space, right? Think of test prep. Names just came to mind. The Kaplans, the Princeton Reviews, the Revolution Preps, the Khan Academies. I was in the same space as those folks as a solopreneur, and I was still able to get found. Not only was I able to get found, I was able to build a profitable business with revenue that ranged from $3,000 to $15,000 a month coming through the front door based on the 16,000 people a month that I was driving to my website. And I did that for 3 years. Want to know the real kicker? About a year and a half into that uptick in SEO, I had a baby. You know how much content I actually crafted in that following year and a half after her birth? Not much at all. So when I say that Google is the gift that keeps on giving, I mean it, because instead of the 24-hour cycle or sometimes 72-hour cycle of social, where you throw something out into that ecosystem and it drops out the bottom of the bucket and you have to feed it again, Google will feed you for a good long while if you have done even marginal things right on your website. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be good enough and, to my mind, really heart-centered, really serving the people you're aiming to reach out to. And that is how we start to change these crappy statistics that are out there of 96.5% of the web pages on the internet not getting traffic. We can be part of the successful minority and start to shift those numbers. And when we do it right, with an eye on our user experience held hand in hand with SEO, then we can become part of the successful minority and start to change the numbers in the online business space. Because online business is beautiful, online business is wonderful. I'm so passionate about this work, and I know that there are so many people out there who have amazing gifts that can be brought to the world through the power of the internet. But it's only possible if you partner with Google, because he is the grand poobah, the godfather of all things. And if you want reach, you are gonna have to court him a little bit.